Hello, my name is Agatha, and this is the astrological forecast for August 2017. This is a very general reading. If you'd like a private consultation, please send an email to dunyazade@gmail.com, and I'd be delighted to work with you. The lunar eclipse happens on the 7th of August at 15 degrees and 25 minutes of the sign of Aquarius, and the solar eclipse happens on the 21st of August at 28 degrees and 53 minutes of the sign of Leo. Lunar eclipses speak of endings or culminations, and solar eclipses speak of new beginnings. Okay, so let's start with the sign of Aries, the sign of Aries. How will the month of August be for you? Now, Aries. Aries. The lunar eclipse on at 15 degrees of Aquarius. In your case, where does it happen? It happens in your 11th house, meaning that maybe you'll be ending a friendship. Like maybe a friend will be leaving your life. Maybe there will be some sort of disagreement. Maybe disagreement over whom you are dating. Maybe like a friend or group of friends don't like the person you are dating, or the person you are dating doesn't like a friend or group of friends, and that will cause the end of a relationship. Another way of reading this, everything is fine in that department. Maybe a friend will have some sort of ending in their life, and you are the witness. Like an ending, you are merely the witness. Everything is fine with your friendship, you witness that maybe he or she gets married or gets divorced. It could be an ending or a culmination in a friend's life. So it could be a marriage, could be a divorce, could be getting this great fantastic job. It could be getting fired. It could be all sorts of big things. Another way of reading this lunar eclipse on the 11th house, it's like a culmination of a goal that you have. Finally, something that you wanted to achieve gets realized, gets done, gets manifested into your life. A long-held wish or dream that you wanted to achieve, you achieve it around the 7th of August. If it's not that, it could be that you have to give up a goal. Maybe you had many goals and you have to focus on the most important goal. Therefore, you have to give up a goal or several other goals. Now, Taurus. Not Taurus. Solar eclipse. The solar eclipse, Aries, on the 21st of August. In your case, it happens in your 5th house. So it could be new beginnings in terms of, a love relationship. You might meet someone new. You might have like a new love interest. You might meet someone, and it will be, I don't want to say love at first sight. I want to say lust at first sight. You'll have this strong, physical attraction towards him or her, or they towards you. So like very strong physical attraction towards each other. It could be that. Others, it could be, if you are already in a love relationship, you will be moving on to the next phase, whatever phase that is. It could be like, moving in, or deciding to be not to be casual, but only to date one another. It will be a much more strong love relationship. For others, it could be you get the news that you'll become a parent. So I'm thinking that either there's a birth of a child and I would say it's a male. I would say it's a male. So a little boy is born, or at least you will know that either you are pregnant or your spouse is pregnant, and you will find out that you are expecting a boy. If it's not that, it could be something new with one of your children. It could be your first child, or it could be one of your male children. If you have more than one, it's one of your male children, and your boy or your son, and something new happening in his life. And I would say it could be all sorts of things. Maybe he's falling in love. Maybe he's getting a job. Maybe he's gonna go to college. Maybe he's getting married. Maybe he's having a kid. Something new in the life of one of your kids. If it's not that, it could be you decide to devote yourself to some sort of creative endeavor, and something that really you feel passionate about it, and you're going to be devoting yourself to this artistic project at least for the next 6 months, if not 6 months, even a year and a half. Okay, so let's go to the next sign, which is Taurus. Taurus, how will be the month of August for you, Taurus? In your case, Taurus, the lunar eclipse in Aquarius happens in your 10th house, and this means that some of you will be ending a career, or will be transitioning from a career to another type of career. So maybe you stop being, just going to say, I don't know, you're going to stop being a mechanic and you're going to be a lawyer, or you're going to stop being a lawyer, you're going to be a mechanic. I don't know. So you transition from one, I'm just saying this as hypotheticals, as examples. I have no idea. But it could be either ending a career or transitioning from one career to another type of career. Others, there could be, you are retiring. If it's not you who's retiring, maybe it's a male figure in your life. It could be your father, it could be your grandfather, it could even be your husband, someone who's retiring. If it's not that, it's one of your bosses, one of the leaders in the company in which you work. Either there's like a boss who's leaving, maybe he or she, I'm thinking more, it's more like a he is retiring, or maybe you're getting a new boss, okay? And around in the beginning of August, this boss will be entering in this company. If it's not that, it's your public image that's changing. So what is the change in the public image? It could be, for instance, if you are single, you will become married. If you are married, you will become divorced. If you don't have children, you will have children. So something about your public image that will come to a fruition, that will come to some sort of change. For some of you, your public image might change because a secret will come to light. Now, this could be a good something which was hidden that could be good, but not necessarily. I don't know if it's a good thing or a negative thing. It depends from case to case. Then the solar eclipse in Leo at 21st of August, in your case, Taurus, is going to happen in your 4th house, meaning there's new beginnings connected with your home family, with your home environment, with your domestic life, with your house, where the place where you live. So maybe there's like a new addition to your family, or someone in your family, in your close family, and this could be husband, wife, mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, sibling, mother-in-law, father-in-law. There's something new happening in the life of one of these people. I'm thinking like a male figure that belongs to your family. Now, this male figure could be your husband, it could be your sibling, for instance, it could be your son. Something new happening in their life. Or it could be you moving to a new home, Finally, you get the money to buy your own place. Maybe you're renting a new flat, a new place to live. Some sort of new beginning in terms of where you live, Taurus. Now, we're going to go to the next sign, which is Gemini. Gemini, how the month of August will be for you, Gemini. In your case, Gemini, the lunar eclipse in Aquarius happens in your 9th house. Lunar eclipses are endings or culminations. It depends from case to case. So it could be you are ending up a college course. So maybe you just finished up your degree. Maybe there's like you needed to finish up a class, or you needed to give your thesis or something like that. Maybe around August, the beginning of August, you get the grade, or you get the knowledge that everything is completed and you have that degree. If you already have a degree, maybe you decide to move on up to have postgraduate studies, or a doctor. You decide to go to a doctorship. I don't know how to say this. To become, to to have a doctorate studies. You understand? I hope I'm making myself clear. So to advance in your university studies. So, and maybe around the 7th of August you'll get the message, or you'll get the news that yes, you were accepted. For others it could be that you decide that you know, for whatever reason, maybe you don't have enough money, but maybe you don't have time, maybe you don't have all that much interest. You decide to end, not to end your university studies without finishing up, without having the degree. Maybe you decide to go to another, to change from one course to another different type of course, and you decide, you know what, I no longer want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor, I want to be whatever, something else. So or you don't have time, you have to devote your time to something else, or you need to change cities, for instance, because maybe your spouse got a better job somewhere else and you have to leave college, you know. If it's not that, it's like a court case that comes to an end, that comes to a closure. Now this could work in your favor, but not necessarily. For others, you might decide to no longer go to church or to the mosque or to the synagogue, you know, just to end your relationship with religion. It could be that. Or it could be the other way around, that you decide, you know what, I'm going to give this religion another try, I'm going to try again. And you decide to go back to church or to go back to the mosque, or, you know, something like that. And then Gemini, the solar eclipse in Leo, in your case, is going to happen on your 3rd house. So for some of you, there's a lot of messages that you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of messages at the end of August. If you are, you know, if you do conferences and talks, you might get a lot of business around the end of August. Everyone wants to, you know, wants to hire you. If you are some sort of comedian, you will have a lot of bookings. You know, it could be that. If you do courses, let's say that you do courses where you teach how to do something which is creative, and you know, you'll get a lot of clients, you'll get a lot of business. For others, it could be a new beginning connected with your sibling. You know, I would say a male sibling. So what new beginning could this be? Maybe your male sibling is your brother, is getting, you know, a new job. He's becoming a father or parent. Maybe he's going to college. Maybe he's finishing up college and getting his dream job. Something, or he's getting married. Something new in your male sibling's life. I'm saying male because this solar eclipse is conjunct Mars. Mars is connected with males in your life. And the solar eclipse is in Leo. Leo is a masculine sign. That's why I'm saying male, okay? But it could be a sister. For others, it could be you decide to, you know, buy a new car. Maybe you have the money finally, and you decide to buy, like, it's not necessarily a new car. It could be a bike, but you want it to be fast and you want it to be luxurious, okay? For others, you might decide to take some sort of certification course. Now, this has nothing to do with, you know, a college course, but a certification course of any type, but something that you like, you know, something that really you are passionate about it. Let's say it's a language course. It could be even a language course, and you wanna learn, I don't know, Italian. You're gonna spend, or French or whatever. You're gonna spend the next 6 months to a year and a half learning this new language. I say language, it could be any other thing, okay? You could move to a new neighborhood, or a new neighbor could move to your neighborhood, and this neighbor is a male, and this person is very charismatic, very passionate, and this person is going to be very important, you know, in your life, this new neighbor. And it's going to be a guy, so he's very passionate about something, and somehow his enthusiasm about something is going to help you. Is going to help you lead, not lead, is going to more or less, it's going to be a positive influence in your life, in your destiny as well. Now, moving on to the next sign, which is Cancer. How will the month of August be for you, Cancer? The lunar eclipse is going to happen in Aquarius. It's going to happen in your 8th house. So this could be an ending or culmination connected with your share resources. So imagine that you get a divorce, Cancer. So the money that you had with your spouse, you are no longer sharing it. I'm sorry, the money that you shared with your spouse, there's no more sharing. So that there's an ending to share resources. Either you move out or your spouse moves out. So there's an ending in that department, in that area of your life. But imagine that everything is fine with your spouse or your long-term relationship. So it could be that you have less money, or your spouse has less money, or your partner has less money. Why do you have one of you has less money? Maybe you get fired, maybe he gets fired, or maybe there's like a cut in the salary, and that's why there's less money. Now, this could be a culmination, therefore not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a very good thing. There's a culmination in your shared resources. So there's some sort of reward. And how could that manifest? Suppose that you get a promotion and your salary increases, or your spouse gets a promotion and his or her salary increases. Therefore, the money that you both share increases as well. Okay, and this would be something that you more or less expected. Another way of reading this lunar eclipse on the 8th house, there's stocks. You've invested in stocks and now you decide to sell them, and I would hope that you get that you get a profit. Or maybe you invested in something that you had money for, like you invested in something for like 5 years, and now finally that investment comes to fruition. So that's a good thing. Another way of reading this, there's some sort of ending or culmination connected with the taxes that you pay. So maybe you get to pay less taxes, or you get the news that you're going to pay more taxes. So it depends, right? If you're going to pay more taxes, it's because maybe you or your spouse is getting an increase in their salary or your salary. Therefore, you're going to be placed on a different ARIES, scale, or whatever it's called. Another way of reading this, there could be a death in your environment, and this death in your environment could be of a boss, for instance. Maybe a boss that has been ill for a while. This is not out of the blue, but it could be that. It could be that, or some sort of authority figure that dies. I don't want to give you bad news, but I just want to say that I want to give all possible meanings. So there's many ways of reading this lunar eclipse. Another way of reading this lunar eclipse, Cancer, maybe you have some sort of interest in the occult, and maybe you were studying, the occult. Maybe you're reading about it. Maybe you're taking like a course in astrology or in tarot, and around the 7th of August, that course that you ends. Maybe it's like a six month course or a year course in astrology, and that study comes to an end. Okay. Then the solar eclipse in Leo, Cancer, happens here in your 2nd house. These are new beginnings, very positive new beginnings connected with your salary and with your money, with the money that you earn. I'm thinking there's a very positive new beginning connected with your money, and there's an increase connected with your salary. So good, positive news connected with the money that you bring home. Okay, Cancer. So don't worry about money. Money is doing. I'm thinking it's going well. At least at the end of the month, in terms of money, you're gonna get good news, I would say. Now let's go to the next sign. The next sign, which is Leo. Leo, how will the month of August be for you? In the beginning of August, 7th of August, the lunar eclipse is going to happen in Aquarius. Going to happen. Where is it going to happen? In your 7th house. So some of you might be ending a long-term relationship. You might be getting a divorce. You might be getting separated because things were not working out. So maybe, you know, finally the divorce comes out. It could be that, or you just separated. If it's not that, it could be if everything is fine with your partner, you might be deciding to move on to the next stage in your partnership, in your romantic partnership. The next stage could be, for instance, you living together, or you deciding to get married. This could even be a relationship that you have online, meaning you have like a long distance relationship with someone you've met online, and you decide to travel to, you know, live with him or her, or he or she decides to travel to go and live with you. It could be something like that. For others, I'm going to give all possible examples, okay? It depends from natal chart to natal chart, and I don't want you to be paranoid, but I'm going to give a not so positive example. You might be ending this relationship, which was an online relationship, because you figure it out that the person with whom you were having a relationship was not a real person, and you were being lied to, Leo. He or she was pretending to be a person that they were not, and they're like scamming you, trying to get money from you. And there's a thing called, you know, the scam, the army romance scam. People who pretend to be soldiers or high rank American soldiers, like generals and colonels, you understand? High rank. And they pretend to be in Syria or Afghanistan, and you're thinking that you have like this relationship with someone who's fighting. And they start asking you money, or they say that the funds that they have they cannot access their funds, so they start asking you money. If that's like something like that's happening, be suspicious. Don't send them any money, and you might find out that this is what's happening, and this is why you end the relationship. Now, I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just giving you all possible examples. Another way of reading this lunar eclipse is that if you have a business partnership with someone, you might be ending it, or you might be deciding to start a business relationship with someone. And in this business relationship, your clients will be abroad. You will be mainly working with clients who do not live in your own country. And this, for instance, this business model, this could be something connected with, you know, either you do this over the internet, or it's something connected with software, you know, with software or IT. But it could be all sorts of things that you, some sort of service that you provide clients abroad. What else? It could be that a contract, because the 7th house is the house connected with contracts. A contract comes to an end. Now, this could be all sorts of contract, but it could be also a contract, a job contract. Maybe you were already expecting this contract to end, okay? Or maybe it was kind of out of the blue, and this contract, this work contract ends. Maybe you were expecting this to be, you know, renewed. You were expecting to be a renewal of this contract, and that does not happen. For others, it could be something that comes to fruition in your second son or daughter's life. It's the second boy or girl you had. So maybe he or she gets married or gets a divorce. Maybe he or she gets the first kid, you know, becomes a father or mother. Maybe he or she goes to college, you know, maybe he or she becomes a lawyer, gets his first job or her first job, or gets married. You know, it's, you know, something huge in the life of your second son or daughter. It could also be that maybe if you have clients, you either losing a client or all sorts of clients. For instance, if you work as a freelancer, it could be that, or it could be that you suddenly get a new client, a new important client who is foreign. Now, for instance, if you do design, it could be working for a magazine that's based, for instance, in Paris. You know, Vogue in Paris or something like that. I'm just giving you all possible examples. The solar eclipse at 21st of August at almost 29 degrees of Leo is going to happen in your first house. So these are new beginnings in your life. Now, this could be a new love, a new relationship, a new love affair. It could be a new job, a new career, something good and positive is going to happen in your life. For some of you, might entail you traveling abroad, be working abroad, studying abroad, or becoming. Some of you might be becoming, a lawyer or a judge or something like that. But it's something very new, very positive that's happening in your life, Leo. Now let's go to the next sign, which is Virgo. Virgo. The next sign, which is Virgo. How will the month of August be for you, Virgo? So the lunar eclipse in Aquarius in the beginning of August is going to happen in your case. For where it's going to happen in your 6th house. So this is an ending connected with your job. Maybe some of you are leaving your job. Maybe you were fired. Maybe the contract ended. You know, it's not necessarily unexpected. For some of you, it could be unexpected. For others, not necessarily. Maybe you have to leave the job because your spouse got a new job somewhere else and you need to follow him or her, or maybe you need to take care of your spouse. Maybe he or she is ill, that this is why you need to leave your job. You know, it could be all sorts of, or it could be your second son or daughter. Maybe your second son or daughter is ill, therefore you need to leave the job and to take care of him or her. Or it could be, and I would say it's a son, it's a male, or not necessarily leaving the job. It could be you have to cut back on the job. You have to, instead of making it full-time, it needs to be part-time because you need to take care of your son because he is ill or she. I'm just reading the chart, and this is very general. Don't freak out, okay? If it's not your son, it could be your spouse who's ill. If it's not that, you feel that, you know, somehow, Virgo, you were deceived by a boss, by an employer in terms of your contract, and your contract ended sooner than you expected. For others, it could be that you're getting your dream job, you know. So instead of losing a job, you are finally around the 7th of August starting your job. Even though it's kind of a dream job, you'll have to be flexible somehow. You'll have to adapt to it. For others, it could be a colleague, a co-worker is leaving. Maybe this co-worker is leaving because he or she is ill, or maybe because I'm thinking more it's a he, it's a young man. Maybe because he was caught doing something bad by the employer or the company, therefore he is fired. Or maybe he is getting the dream job and that's why he's leaving. You know, maybe he's an artist of some kind and He doesn't have to work, you know, a 9-to-5 job or whatever hourly job he had, and finally he gets to do what he always dreamt of doing. That's why this co-worker is leaving. Or he might be a scapegoat. He might be, you know, the employer is blaming him for something that he did not do, or maybe he did take part of something, but he's like the scapegoat, and this is why he's getting fired. For others, it could be that you're getting a new coworker or new coworkers, and this could be a male coworker, okay? And this person is, you know, kind of passionate, but and you know, about what they do, but at the same time they might be a bit not mysterious. You know, you don't exactly know how he is. You don't exactly understand him. There's like some things, a part of him that is always mysterious and unknown. And then Virgo, on the 21st of August, there's a solar eclipse. In your case, Virgo, it's going to happen in your 12th house. Now, for some of you, it could be that you're starting a love relationship. It could be like a soulmate relationship. You kind of feel that you are with your soulmate. And if you start this love relationship, you might be keeping it hidden from everyone else, because you might think that this is sacred, this is too sacred for me to share. Or for some of you, I don't want to say it's all, you're keeping it secret because this is an affair. Maybe you are, you know, married already. If that's the case, I don't know, I don't want to judge you, but honestly, don't do it. It's just better to be honest. That's my personal opinion, but I don't want to judge you. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons that one might start a relationship while one is still married, okay? Something that I should tell you about this relationship is that it might start as a very passionate sort of relationship, but you have to be careful that this passion does not turn into hate, and this passion does not turn into trying to control the other person. This controlling and this domineering thing might come from you, Virgo, okay? You might be feeling, you know, very jealous and trying to control and dominate the other person, or is the other person who's trying to do this to you eventually. So if you feel like this, try to control yourself and try to be diplomatic and try to subdue these harmful feelings, because they are harmful. If it's the other person, set up boundaries and do not allow the other person to behave in this domineering, jealous, and possessive way towards you. Do not allow that to happen. For others, it could be that you are working in a creative project and you are doing it in a secretive way. So you're not telling anyone, and you are working in some sort of creative project. It could be like writing a book, painting, whatever. But it's really something which is important to you and it's sacred to you, and you're doing it in a hidden sort of manner. For others, it could be that a secret that comes to light, and this secret will be affecting you for the next 6 months to a year and a half. I don't know what type of secret it is. It could be a positive one or a negative one. I really don't know. It could be a secret involving a male figure, a man. Now, this man could be your son, it could be your husband, it could be your father, it could be your sibling. So it's a secret that will transform your life. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's a negative or positive secret that comes to light, but it will affect your life and it will transform your life. Okay? It will have an effect in your life. What else could it be? You know, this thing that comes to light might be connected, Virgo, with your health. You know, maybe something which was hidden in occult was some sort of medical issue, and you have to deal with this medical issue. And by dealing with this medical issue, this will transform your life. Okay? And this is not necessarily like a very bad thing. I'm not talking about cancer, okay? Some sort of medical issue. And by dealing with this medical issue, your life will be transformed somehow. Okay? So now let's move on to the next sign, which is Libra. Libra, how will the month of August 2017 be for you, Libra? So the lunar eclipse in Aquarius happens in your case in your 5th house. For some of you, it's an ending of a love relationship. Maybe things were not working out and you decide to end this love relationship. For others, it's moving on to the next stage of this love relationship. And for instance, maybe you're like casually dating and you decide to start just seeing one another. You know, you just decide to be, you know what, let's just be boyfriend and girlfriend. So it depends from case to case. Whatever happens with this love relationship, your friends don't seem to be very happy with the person that you picked to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Now, some of you might have some sort of aggressiveness that comes from your from a friend, or honesty. Okay, it could be someone that belongs to your friend, you know, your friend friendship circle tells you in a very honest way, you know, your boyfriend or your girlfriend is a jerk, you need to leave him or her because you seem to be a different person when you are with him or her, or this person is an ass, you know, and you need to dump him or her. It could be that, and they are being honest with you. It could be one of two cases. They are being honest with you and they don't like this person. Okay, this could be a very bad person for you and they see it and you do not see it. Okay, it could be that case. Another way of reading this lunation, this lunar eclipse, is that your girlfriend or your boyfriend makes an ultimatum and says, I don't like this friend of yours. If you want to keep seeing me, you have to stop seeing this friend. And you even might accept this ultimatum. Or you might not accept it. I don't know what's happening, but there's like a friend or group of friends that doesn't like your boyfriend or your girlfriend. There's some sort of like clash here. Okay? Maybe because maybe your group of friends think that he or she is crazy. Okay, that's I don't know if it is, if your boyfriend or girlfriend is, or they think that they are weird, you know, different and weird. Like there's some sort of weirdness, you know. For others, it could be that everything is fine with your friends, and everything is fine with your love relationship, and everyone gets along, Libra. It could be that you are becoming a parent, for instance, or you get the news that you will be a mother or a father. If it's not that, it could be that something is reaching a culmination or an ending in the life of your child. And I would say it's your second child. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. So maybe your second child is divorcing or getting married. Maybe your second child is becoming a parent, for instance. Maybe your second child is going back to college or finishing up college. Maybe your second child lost his or her job, or is starting a new job, or is moving from one career to another career. There's all sorts of meanings connected with this lunar eclipse. Then Libra, the solar eclipse in Leo. Where does it happen? It happens in your 11th house. So this could be a new beginning in terms of your goals and objectives. You have new goals for yourself. You have new long-term projects, and you're working on this long-term project. You are defining it, or you are defining new objectives that you have for your life. Okay, and maybe these are creative objectives. Yeah, these are creative new goals that you have. Maybe you decide to join some sort of organization. And this organization, this great large group, could be a very creative group. Maybe, you know, just for the fun of it, you decide to join a theater company, you know, and you might be involved in this theater company for the next 6 months to a year and a half. And it's something that you do only because you're really passionate about it. You know, I'm saying theater, it could be any sort of thing, okay? It's new goals that really you are passionate about it. If it's not that, you are meeting a new group of friends, okay? Maybe because you are having a new group of friends because you've joined some sort of group, you know. Maybe you want to learn how to paint, for instance, and you decide to take painting classes. And in those classes, you meet a new group of friends that have the same objectives that you do. And I would say there will be a male friend that is going to be really important to you. It's a male, it's a guy, and he's really passionate about what he does. And this enthusiasm kind of rubs off on you, and it helps you. He kind of gives you also the enthusiasm that you felt maybe you lacked. But it's interesting. It's like this guy kind of guides you somehow or somewhat. What else? These could also be, for instance, Libra, you getting the rewards and the gains from your career, Libra. And the gains and rewards that you're getting from your career, you're going to be getting them in a very successful way. These are, you're going to be getting them for the next 6 months to a year and a half. Okay? And these are wonderful rewards. These are wonderful gains that you get from your career, from your profession. Okay, Libra? Now let's go to the next sign, which is Scorpio. Scorpio, how will the month of August be for you, Scorpio? Scorpio, the lunar eclipse in Aquarius, in your case, is going to happen in your fourth house, house number 4. So this is an ending or culmination connected with your family environment, your domestic environment, with your house, with your family, with the place where you live. So maybe you're moving from one place to another. Maybe you're leaving a flat because you rented another flat or another house. Maybe you're going to stop having roommates and going to live alone for the first time. Or maybe a roommate is leaving and another roommate is entering. You're going to have a different roommate. Maybe you are buying your first house. Maybe finally you have the money to buy your first apartment or your first house. Maybe you're finishing up buying your mortgage. Maybe you spent years and years and years paying your mortgage, and finally your mortgage is paid in full. Others, it could be, it depends from chart to chart. It could be that your house is being foreclosed. Maybe because you lost your job and you can no longer afford to pay the mortgage, so you have to give up your house. I hope that doesn't happen, but I have to give you all possible meanings, Scorpio. It could be also an ending or culmination connected with your close family. For instance, maybe an elderly in your family needs to have medical care. And I'm thinking it's more a he, but it could be a she. He or she needs to be moved to a facility, needs to be placed in a home, for instance. Maybe someone in your family retires, retires, and so that's not a bad thing. Maybe your husband retires, maybe your father retires, or your mother, maybe your grandfather retires, or your grandmother retires, like someone retires. So an ending or a culmination connected with someone close in your family, okay? Which also might be connected with health issues, Scorpio. Or it could be something else, Scorpio. It could be like you are in the same place where you always lived, and you wanted to make some, how do you say, you wanted to paint the walls, you wanted to fix the roof of your house, and around the 7th of August, all of those renewals, all of that work is done. For instance, it could be that. The solar eclipse on the 21st of August in Leo, in your case, Scorpio, it happens on your 10th house. This is a major eclipse. If you live in America, and if you live, this is called the Great American Eclipse because it's going to be cutting America in half, the shadow. If you live in a place in America where this solar eclipse in Leo will be visible, this is going to be a monumental year for you, Scorpio. It's going to be a very big year for you. Your life is going to change. And this eclipse, in your case, again, this is a very general reading. In your case, is going to happen in your 10th house. So these are major new beginnings in your work life, in your career, in your profession. Maybe you're going to be transitioning from one career to another. Maybe you're going to be, if you're already in your career for a very long time, maybe finally you're going to get the rewards and you're going to get the visibility connected with your work that you do, connected with your profession, with your career. Something good, something major is going to happen, a major development, a major success connected with your job, connected with your career. This is very, very good. If it's not that, you could have a new boss. This could be a young man. It's a man, and he is very passionate about the work that you do. And this boss is gonna take the company on a new route. Think Steve Jobs, someone like that, and he's gonna positively, I want to say positively, influence your destiny in your career, in your profession. So even if you think this person is highly enthusiastic or way too aggressive, this person is going to have a very good, positive influence in your life, in your career, at least for the next year and a half, for the next 6 months to a year and a half. Okay? What else? It could be your public image is changing. Why is it your public image is changing? Maybe because you become married, maybe because you become a parent, or for some other reason. Maybe there's like an act of bravery that you do. Maybe you behave in a very courageous sort of manner, and everyone will see it, and everyone will praise it for that. But you do that because you are truly a courageous person. So whatever happens in your public image or in your career, I'm going to say it's positive. Okay? I'm going to say it's a very positive thing, Scorpio. And by the way, always keep positive thoughts connected with your job, with your career. Positive thoughts, okay? Because that will be very good for you. Okay, Scorpio? Now, let's move on to the next sign. The next sign, which is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. How will the month of August be for you? The lunar eclipse, which speaks of endings or culminations, Sagittarius, in your case, in Aquarius, is going to happen on your third house. So, house number 3. So, this could be an ending or a culmination connected with a sibling. For instance, for some it could be that you stop talking to a sibling. Maybe you didn't get along for a very long time, and you just stop talking to this sibling. It could be a sister or a brother, or maybe they decide to stop talking to you. I don't know the reason why, but I would say it's like something involving, what do you say, a court case. Something connected with the court case that makes that this sibling stop talking to you, or you stop talking to this sibling. I'm giving all possible meanings, okay? I'm not saying that this is going to happen, okay? This is the negative way. The positive way is that an ending or a culmination in your sibling's life there's something really relevant that happens to your sister or to your brother. It could be a good or a bad thing, for instance, and you are merely the witness of it, and everything is fine with the relationship that you have with your sibling. Okay, everything is fine and dandy with that. For instance, he or she might get a divorce, or he or she might get married. He or she might have a kid, for instance. He or she might finish up the college course. Maybe he or she was in college, and around this time they finish up their university studies, or they decide to go back to college, or they get the news that they entered college, or maybe they were already in college and they can't be, for whatever reason, maybe timing, maybe money, they have to stop going to college. So it's something connected with something big, something relevant connected with your sibling's life, and you are the witness of it. And let's hope it's a good thing. It could be something like, for instance, your sibling was living abroad for a very long time, and he or she decides to come back, or maybe he or she decides to immigrate, go to work in another country. Another way of reading this lunar eclipse, it could be that you're getting a lot of messages. And these messages could be of a amorous nature. Okay? I'm sorry. So someone is interested in you, and maybe you're getting a lot of emails saying, "Hey, I really like you." If you sign up for like something like a dating site, you're gonna get a lot of messages. Or you decide to, you know what, I'm done with this dating thing, with this online dating thing, and you just decide to unsubscribe or not do the online dating ever again, and delete anything to do with online dating. What else? Now, these messages that you might be connected with some sort of creative project that you are working on or that you have finished. So maybe the messages that you're getting is that I really like your book, I really like your paintings, I really like your photographs, I really like your sculptures, something like that. Or I want to publish your book or something like that. If you are a writer of some kind and you've sent you sent your book to several publishing houses, you might be getting an answer around the 7th of August. Now, this could be a positive answer or a negative answer. I really don't know. It could be something like, we want to publish your book, for instance. Or it could be that you get lots and lots of negative answers, like we cannot publish your book because of this, and this, and you kind of decide, you know what, I'm gonna quit sending proposals to publishing houses. I'm gonna do it myself. Or you can decide to, you know what, I'm sick of writing. I'm gonna stop writing for a while. Or you might decide to change the genre. How do you say this? GENRE. The type of books that you were writing, you might decide to switch. Instead of writing romance novels, you decide to write crime novels, for instance. Another way of reading this lunation, it could be something connected with what you do online. Maybe you have a very strong online presence. Maybe you have a blog. Maybe you blog every week. Maybe you have a YouTube channel, and you provide content on that YouTube channel. And around this time, around the 7th of August, two things could happen. One is that you either are getting a reward from your online presence. You could have like visibility. You can be getting clients. You can be getting more money, or you decide that your effort is wasted, that the effort that you put into blogging doesn't really compensate you, and you decide to put your efforts in something else. And some of you might be even deciding, I'm not I'm gonna stop blogging. I'm not gonna keep up with my YouTube channel. I'm not gonna be in the forum or whatever. I'm gonna stop because it's not working. So it depends from case to case. Another way of reading this is that if there's some sort of course that you're taking, let's say a language course, and you are learning Russian, I don't know, around this time, around the 7th of August, this language course ends. So, or you decide, it could be a language course, it could be any other thing, okay? Of course, a certification course also, nothing to do with college course, with university studies. It could be something that you do either because you want to, or it's something that you do because you're going to use it in your work, in your career. So around this time, around the 7th of August, it's when it ends. Or if you do lectures, if you do talks, around the 7th of August, it's the time where you stop doing talks. You know, you've done all the talks, you know. Maybe if you are a comedian, stand-up comedian, around the 7th of August is when you've done all of your stand-up gigs, you know, they end. Or you decide to, you know, change the way you do the talks, the way you do, the way you do your gigs, to make some sort of changes. For others, it could be a car that dies. You know, you decide to, your car dies, and you know what, I'm not going to buy another car. And I would not advise you to buy a car around this time. Wait a while. Don't immediately buy a car, okay? Or you decide to, instead of relying on a car, maybe a car is too expensive, and you decide to, you know, the transportation is really good. I'm just going to take the public bus. I'm just going to take the public transportation. I don't need a car. So you get rid of your car. It could be that. And then Sagittarius, the solar eclipse on the 21st of August, that happens almost at 29 degrees of Leo. In your case, it happens on the 9th house. Some of you decide to go back to college. Some of you decide, some of you get know that you were accepted at whatever college or several colleges. So you have the message that you were accepted, and you're going to be in the fall. You're going to be in this course or on that course. You're going to go to college. Others, it could be you're becoming a judge, or you're becoming a lawyer, or something like that. Others, it could be that, or a public defender also. Others, it could be that you decide to initiate some sort of law. Maybe not necessarily initiate, but you're going to be involved in some sort of court case, Sagittarius. Now, this could be your decision, or this could be kind of karmically decided for you, and you might become, for instance, a juror. So you might be, especially if you are in America, you might be called to judge a court case. You know, you might be called to become part of a jury, and this case will completely change your life. I don't know why, I don't know in what way, but it's going to help you change your philosophy of life, I would say. And it's going to, this doesn't, I'm going to say this is a positive thing, okay? I said court case, but it could be any other thing. It could be something, whatever happens on late August, it's something that will give you, that will put you on a route where you will form where you will have new ideas, where you will have a new perspective of life, where you will form new values that will guide you in your life, a new philosophy of life, I would say. What else? Now, this could also be that the 9th house is also connected with astrology, with tarot. Maybe you decide to study astrology. Maybe you decide to study tarot. Maybe you decide to take a Reiki course, something to do with the occult. You might decide to study that. Others, it could be that you are becoming a college professor. It could be that also. So you're getting, how do you say, tenure? I think it's called tenure. Others, you might be going on a trip abroad that will completely transform your life. And maybe you thought it was a quick trip, and you might end up staying there abroad, whatever abroad is to you. So maybe you live in America and you decide to travel to Australia or New Zealand or Paris or whatever, or Egypt or Russia, whatever. So a trip abroad that will completely transform your life, or you decide to move abroad. It could be that as well. You decide to move abroad and live abroad and work abroad and work in another country, Sagittarius. Now let's move on to the next sign, which is Capricorn. Capricorn, how will the month of August be for you? The lunar eclipse in Aquarius, in your case, Capricorn, is going to happen in your second house. So this could be an ending or a culmination connected with your salary, with the money that you earn, with your income. So some of you might be losing your job, not necessarily out of the blue. Maybe you were already expecting it. Others, it could be there's some sort of change connected with the money that you earn, and these changes could be, it depends from person to person. For some, it could be that you're earning less, maybe because there's some sort of problem in your company and the leaders decided to cut the wages to everyone where you work. Or you could get an improvement. You might have like a salary raise. Why might you get a salary raise? Because maybe you got a promotion. So it depends from person to person. Something is culminating, connected with your salary, Capricorn, with the money that you earn. Now this could be a good thing or this could be a bad thing. It depends, okay? And then Capricorn, the solar eclipse at 21st of August at 28 degrees of Leo, in your case, it happens on your 8th house. So this is a new beginning connected with the money that you share with others. When it's with others, it's the money that you share, for instance, with your spouse, Capricorn. So maybe you're getting an increase, and I'm thinking this is a positive new beginnings, okay? Positive new beginnings connected with the money that you have with another person, with your partner. Maybe you're getting an increase, okay, of salary. So therefore, the money that you have with your spouse is more. Or maybe if it's not you, it's your spouse who's getting an increase. Even if you lose your job, even if you have a pay, even if you receive less money in your work, maybe your husband suddenly either gets a new job, or your wife gets a new job or gets a promotion, and he or she will have a big increase, and the money that you have together is more. It could be that. Or you're getting a new job and you being paid more, therefore both of you have more money. What else? Some of you might be getting an inheritance, okay? No, you might be getting an inheritance, or your spouse or your partner might be getting an inheritance. Therefore, there's more money for you. If it's not that, I would also would advise you to play the lottery. Don't go insane. Don't go mad, okay? Maybe that's why you left your job, because maybe either you played, the lottery, or your spouse played the lottery and you earned big, and maybe both of you don't have to work anymore. Maybe you decide, you know what, I'm going to quit my job because finally we have the money so I could quit my job and I could stay home and work on something else that I want to work on in my own job, and I don't have to worry about, and something that I really love to do, and I don't have to worry about money, because we have money, and we have more than money, because you either got an inheritance, or you got a big lottery win, or you just want to be home because you want to take care of the kids, you know. It could be any sort of thing. So around the 21st of August, Capricorn, a few days before, a few days after, play the lottery, and tell your spouse also to play the lottery, but don't go insane, okay? You can spend like something like $1. You can spend something like two pounds, €2, $2. You don't have to spend a lot, okay? Because if it's meant for you, then it's meant for you. You don't have to spend your rent, okay? And then this, if it's meant for you, $1 is sufficient, okay? Okay, don't go insane, don't go nuts. Another way of reading this this solar eclipse on the 8th house, there's like a new beginning connected with you and your spouse in terms of your physical intimacy. So you starting a new chapter in your life in terms of sensuality and sexuality. It could be that. It could be that you're really interested in anything connected with the occult, and you're reading about the occult. You're reading about tarot, you're reading about, you know, astrology, stuff like that, Capricorn. Something that really, you know, gemstones also, something that really kind of interests you. So you might be getting a lot of books, and you might be reading about that, and you might be reading about this sort of occult subjects for the next 6 months, okay? And within a year and a half, you might even be, you know, feeling secure enough to provide consultations about it, you know. Again, it depends from natal chart to natal chart. Now let's go to the next sign, which is Aquarius. Aquarius, how will the month of August 2017 be for you? Well, Aquarius, the lunar eclipse on the 7th of August is going to happen in your 1st house. So this means that there's some sort of ending or culmination in your life, in your relationships, and it depends from natal chart to natal chart. It could be, for instance, that if a love relationship is no longer working, you decide to end it, or both of you decide to end it, okay? Something is no longer working, and you end the relationship. Now, this relationship that can end does not have to be necessarily a love relationship. Could be a business partnership, or it could be a relationship that you have with your sibling. Maybe you decide to just cut ties with a sibling, or a sibling might decide to cut ties with you for whatever reason. What else? Maybe this sibling is connected with a large religious organization, and he or she is a bit nuts, and he or she is trying to persuade you to join this organization, and you resist, and you just decide to cut ties with him or her, or they decide to cut ties with you because the values of this big religious organization are completely different from the values that lead you, Aquarius, that you used to live your life. So you might have like a difference in values. What else? Now, this could be a culmination, not necessarily an ending. Now, so you might be with someone for a while, and you might decide to, you know what, let's make this official. You might decide to, we've been dating for a while, so you should become boyfriend and girlfriend, or we should move in together, or you should marry. If you're already living with someone, you decide, okay, let's go to the next phase of our relationship, let's get married. It could be something like that. This could be an ending also of a professional relationship. You might lose your job. You might be sick of your job and move on to another job, okay? Or move on to another career. So it could be all sorts of things, Aquarius. Then the solar eclipse on the 21st of August at almost at 29 degrees of Leo, in your case, Aquarius, is going to happen on your 7th house. So this solar eclipse, I'm going to read this as a very good positive new beginnings. This is a very good positive new beginning connected with a love relationship. With, for instance, you might decide, if you're already with someone, you might decide to marry this person or move in with this person. Or if you are alone and single, you might meet someone, and this person to you will be marriage material. So you're going to meet someone, and immediately the first thing you're going to think is, I'm going to marry that man or I'm going to marry that woman. And they look at you the same way. They will be looking at you like, I'm going to marry him or her. So they're going to look at you, Aquarius, as marriage material. And this marriage might happen within the next 6 months to a year and a half. Or it might happen, if you're already with someone, it might happen around the 7th of August. If it's not that, and you are married already, it's positive new beginnings happening in the life of your married or doesn't matter. You don't have necessarily to be married. It's positive new beginnings connected with happening in your spouse's life or your long-term partner's life. So he or she, for instance, might get this new fantastic job. Might get, it could be a job, it could be any other thing. Maybe he or she decides to go to start a new business, and everything will work out fine. It's positive new beginnings in your spouse's life, and you're going to be supportive. I would say you're going to be supportive of him or her. If it's not that, it could be a new contract. The 7th house is the houses of contracts. So you might be signing up a new contract. Now, this could be a professional contract, like a new work contract, or if you work freelancer, you could be signing up a contract with a new client, or a series of new clients. You could be signing up lots and lots of new contracts, freelance contracts, and you're going to be working with a multitude of new clients. I would advise you to market, if you do marketing, if you provide a service, market your marketing, you try directing it to your neighborhood, okay, to your neighborhood, because you might be providing a service which is different, which is original, and you might be lucky in getting new customers and new clients if you do your marketing targeted at your neighborhood or around your neighborhood. Okay? Not necessarily abroad, more like within your neighborhood. You might be getting lots and lots of new clients that way, Aquarius. This could be also a new beginning in your second child's life. It could be boy or girl, doesn't matter. It's the second kid you have. So he or she, I'm thinking it's more like a he. I'm thinking it's more like a son. It could be a boy or a girl. It's your second kid. Might be becoming a parent, might having a first boyfriend or girlfriend, might be getting married, might be starting college, might be getting this great new fantastic job. Something really good and really positive happening in the life of your second child. Okay? Now let's go to the next sign, which is Pisces. Pisces, how will the month of August 2017 will be for you? Well, Pisces, the lunar eclipse is going to happen on the 7th of August in Aquarius. In your case, it's going to happen on the 12th house. Therefore, there's going to be a secret that will be coming to light. A secret that will be coming to the surface. Something which was hidden will be visible. Okay? And this something which was hidden might be connected with money, and might be connected with your work, or even with a leader, with a boss in your work, in your company. Now, this could be good or this could be bad. I don't know. So a secret that comes to light that more or less could define your finances. I don't know in what way, okay? This could also be something which was hidden, that will be visible, that is connected with your health, that will be needing, and you'll be needing money to resolve this health issue. And I would say that your bosses will be helping you. So they will be helping you. The company in which you work for, there's going to be a boss, or the leaders in your company will be helping you. If there's like a bill, if there's like a large health bill, they're going to help you. I don't know in what way, but they're going to help you pay this bill. Maybe there's like a health issue that you have dealt with, okay, and maybe you have keeping it hidden, Pisces. Maybe there's some sort of health issue that is ended, but it's going to leave you with a large medical bill. And if you go to your bosses, if you go to a leader, they will help you. If it's not your boss, it could be an authority figure in your life that has money, that has stability, that has financial security. Now, this authority figure in your life could be your father, it could be an older brother, it could be older brother, it could be, or sister, it could be father-in-law, someone, a grandfather also, I'm sorry, and they can help you pay this medical bill, okay? So if there's like trouble connected with money, if you go to an authority figure in your life, in your family life, an authority figure connected with your family, or your authority figure connected with your work life, you could get help, okay? You could get help. So don't discard them, okay, Pisces? And the solar eclipse on the 21st of August at 28 degrees and 53 minutes of Leo, Pisces, in your case is going to happen on your 6th house. So for some of you, these are positive new beginnings connected with your health or with your work environment. So maybe you're going to have to do changes in the way you eat, or you might have to start to do some sort of new exercise, or you have to change the type of exercise that you do because of medical issues, of health issues. You have to deal with these health issues by changing the way you eat or by starting to working out. Okay, it could be that. For others, it could be that you get this fantastic new job and you're gonna get really enthusiastic about this new job, and you're gonna be working with males. You're gonna be working mostly with men, and these men are really passionate about the work that they do, and they transmit to you the sort of enthusiasm and joy that they have. Okay, and just going to work will really fill you with happiness and joy. That's what I'm thinking. Another way of reading this is there's no type of changes in your workplace, but you might be getting new co-workers. You might be getting a new colleague. This could be a man, and this man is really enthusiastic about the job that he does. He really loves this job, and because he loves this job so much, the joy that he has, he transmits it to you. So you're happy to be working with this person because they're so enthusiastic about the job that they're doing. If it's not that, it could be, I could read this solar eclipse in another way. You might be getting a new pet. Maybe you're getting a new pet for health reasons. Maybe a dog. Maybe your doctor told you, look, it would be great if you could walk your dog every day. For instance, maybe you don't have a dog. Maybe you get a dog. Or maybe there's someone in your family that has a dog, and you are and because of health reasons, because you need to, walk every day. Everyone in your family decides, okay, now dad or mom gets to walk our German Shepherd every day. So I would say this is a very enthusiastic sort of dog. If it's a dog, I'm saying dog, it could be a horse. I have no idea. I'm thinking it's a pet. I'm not. It could be a cat. It could be a cat because it's Leo, so it could be a feline. But you'd have to like play with your feline. Whatever it is, you have to engage with this pet. And by engaging with this pet, if you are depressed, you are no longer depressed. If you need to work out, you will be working out because you have to walk the dog, and you'll be feeling more joyful. You know, you'll be feeling more joyful. So it's like a pet that will be providing joy in your life. And within 6 months to a year and a half, you'll see the positive influence, the very positive influence in the way this pet, P-A-T, has changed your life. Okay? So that's it. This is the reading that I have for August 2017 for all signs. This is a very general reading. If you like a private consultation, please send an email to dunyazade@gmail.com, and I'd be delighted to work with you. Bye-bye.